If I had to go back over here, I wouldn't have tobacco. I'd have everything else but tobacco. I'll put it like that. It aggravating. And that's hard work too. So according to picking cotton and soybeans, and rye and wheat, tobacco to me was the hardest thing being a farmer. My name's Harlan Chavis. My father was Garvin Chavis Sr. He was a preacher. My grandpa was Tommy Chavis. I grew up on a farm, been a farmer all my life until I got grown. I always had tobacco. When we do our tobacco, you'd have to go plant your seeds. Then when the seeds get up so high, you'd have a canvas over them to keep the weather from damaging or whatever. Then when we'd start planting tobacco, you had to go pull your tobacco plants up. You'd already have your roads run for your tobacco and all of that. You had your tractor with your thing you sit on. The ladies would put the tobacco plants in it, just go down the roads and plant the tobacco. You always had to keep the tobacco growing, keep it plowed, keep it dusty. Then when it got big enough, what we call suckers, that grow in between the leaves and the stalk, you'd have to break them off. Then you'd have to break the tops off. My father was always a farmer, and I never did like being in the tobacco field. But we had to do it. That was our life, always being a farmer. We done sharecroppings too with other farmers. Their children would come and help us in the tobacco. We'd go help them in the tobacco fields. We'd get up in the mornings around sometimes 4 o'clock in the morning. Had to go take the tobacco out of the barn. Then come home, feed the hogs, milk the cows, be in the tobacco field by 7 o'clock. Some days you'll be in the tobacco field all day long, cropping tobacco. Once you do that, you'll come home, milk the cows, feed the hogs. You'll be in the pack house taking off tobacco till 10, 11 o'clock at night. So that was 6 days a week or 5 days a week. That's what you'll be doing. I didn't like none of it. What I liked about it was when we got through with it. I'll put it like that. The easiest part for us would be taking off the tobacco in the barn. Now, for us getting it out of the field was a different story. Like I said, you had to crop, you had to walk through the field cropping that tobacco. And that, you figure 90-some degrees in the daytime, that's a lot of heat on you. And you out there cropping tobacco, and some days you'd be out there all day long cropping tobacco. But at nighttime, taking off tobacco, you had to wait till the humidity was just right to get that tobacco soft enough where it wouldn't crumble when you go to taking it off on the stick. Because if it was too hot, you'd grab it here to just crumble. If it had a little moisture here, it was like a little rubbly like. You could take it off the stick, no problem. I reckon by cropping tobacco, I've been in the field all day long in the hot sun. That was hard work. People might look at it today, it wasn't hard, but it was hard back in the days. You get up early in the morning, like I said, 3 or 4 o'clock, you get started. You don't get back in the bed sometime till about 11 o'clock at night. That's hard work. If people really don't know nothing about putting in the tobacco, if they had to grow up like we done, like I said, getting up, you got milk cows, feed the hogs, we'll take out a barn of tobacco, then you be in the tobacco field by 7 o'clock. You don't come out of that tobacco field till lunchtime. About 1 or 2 o'clock, you're back in the tobacco field. If you had 2 barns to put in, you might be in the tobacco field till 4 or 5 o'clock in the evening. Then when you come home, you got to feed the hogs, milk the cow all over again. You ain't shopping, you're in the pack house taking off tobacco till 10, 11 o'clock at night. The day, I wouldn't have tobacco. I wouldn't. I think back then that was good money for the farmers, getting extra money. Because growing tobacco back then, you'd grow tobacco for, once the tobacco get grown, you'd crop that tobacco probably about a month, 2 months. So that was good money coming in for the farmers until, the beans, the cotton, all of that started coming up. Because your cotton and your soybeans wasn't up enough for them to start selling. Your tobacco is what's bringing in all the extra money to your soybeans or your cotton, wheat or rye is big enough to start harvesting. So your tobacco is your money starting off with. A lot of it's changed over the years. There ain't too many farmers around here now that has tobacco. They just have beans, cotton, wheat, or rye growing. Most of the time you'll see tobacco now is about like in Roland or Fairmont, where they grow a lot of tobacco now. Machine picking ain't like cropping it with your hands. When we first get started cropping, they'd say we don't want the sand lugs. That's the very leaf on the bottom of the stalk. It wouldn't really be no good to you, so you'd have to come up on the stalk and then start cropping. You wouldn't get but about 3 or 4 leaves at a time off of each stalk, because a lot of it would be turning like a yellowish looking color. The rest of them at the top of the stalk would be green. They didn't really want all of that green. They wanted where it started turning. Because once you put it in the barn and start getting it cured, once it's cured all the way, some of it still be green, and you'd have to take that out from the good tobacco. Like I said, we've been sometimes when we take the tobacco out the barn, take it off in the sticks, we'd have to go through it, grade it out, get the good tobacco out from the bad tobacco. When we'd have the tobacco in the barns curing them, you had these little burners, but you'd have probably like 20 burners or so in a barn with round covers over. Sometime 10 and 11 o'clock. If you're a child, 10 years old, 12 years old, coming up, your father look at you and say, hey, go check my barns, make sure that no tobacco leaves fell on the burners. Because a lot of times if you didn't check them, tobacco fall on them. Sometimes the tobacco gets so dry, it'd catch a fire and burn your barns down. So you always had to keep your eye on all the burners. You figure leaving home at 10, 11 o'clock at night, 12 and 13 years old, sometimes younger, you going to the barns by yourself at nighttime, checking them barns. But hey, we had to do it. Yep, a lot of responsibility. My father went sometime. I think I went once or twice with him to Fairmont and watched him in there sell the tobacco. Back then, I really didn't think nothing of it till, I got grown, by following him to places like that. You'll see different companies, cigarette companies, or people that done snuff or chewing tobacco, bidding on their tobacco. Because, they'd walk through the big building, and because a lot of farmers, their tobacco be setting out and they'd be going through it, checking each block, and they'd be bidding on it. So that's where they got a lot of their money from these big companies. From, cigarette companies, snuff, or chewing tobacco. Growing up, you couldn't get away from it. Not when you living at home, you doing what your father said, that was it. Because he was the boss. That was a lot of work. They like doing the cotton or soybeans, that's just during the day, get it done, you're through with it. Tobacco was a different story.